Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining me for an RMS-specific product demo on clearance sales. So I talked about the clearance sales during the CLIMB event here, and we've decided that after every CLIMB event, we're going to do some very RMS-specific product demonstrations to show you how to do different things. So today, I'm going to follow up with my presentation during CLIMB on clearance sales and get right into how you do it in our POS. So the first one I'm going to do is broad-based for every store, because every one of you has merchandise that doesn't sell and you need to get it out of the store. And as I mentioned during CLIMB, one of the things you could do is find that and then potentially return it to your wholesaler. But let's assume you can't return this to the wholesaler. So let's start with how do we find it, and then what do we do with it? So there's a report under product reports called the items with no sales report, and I'm going to start with that. Now, I can tell it whenever I want to look back. I'm going to go back to June of 2020. And I'm just going to start by, I recommend you start with report only, because you want to see what's going to be on the report before you do anything. And then, so I'm going to then come here and go, I only want to show items with the date activated of, I'm going to say 6 months, 180 days. Now, what does that mean? So the way our system works is we can load an entire product file, and when we do that, it sets a date created and it sets the item to inactive. When an item is either sold at the register, received through inventory receiving, or counted through inventory counting, it activates the item. So it sets the activated date. So that gives you the ability to have a catalog of all of the items for years, and the prices, everything gets updated, but you're not carrying it, so it remains inactive. Then as soon as you start carrying it, it gets activated. So I only want to look at things that were activated in the last 6 months or more, or back further, so that I don't accidentally, something I activated yesterday shows up on this report if I don't do it that way. So I'm setting it back to 180 days, and it's only going to look at those that haven't sold in the last 6 months as well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just go next here. I'm going to pick two departments that I have in my demo system that I sell when I'm doing demos, just to speed this process along. I can also tell it to skip inactive items, so it's not looking at my entire database, it's only looking at the active items. And these are the two two departments I sell from typically. So this will just help us speed the demo along here. We'll click preview, and we'll get the items with no sales. And now you've got this report. We see that we have 22 items that haven't sold in the last 6 months that we may or may not have inventory on. And in fact, I do have inventory on all of these items, but you don't necessarily. It could be active and you're just out of stock. But you see the total value of what we have in inventory. You can see the date it was last sold and the date it was last received. So you review this and go, yes, this database, this looks accurate. This looks like the items that, they're not selling. I want to get rid of them. So like I said, if you can return them to the wholesaler, great. But if not, we can go to the next step. So now we've reviewed this. We say, yeah, this looks good. If there was something we wanted to change, we could fine tune, our criteria here. But we're going to say, yeah, this is good. And now I'm going to come back to the first screen and click Load Items to a Promo Event, and click Next. And then I can either go to a promo event that I've already created, and I created these in advance just to have that process done. You see it's starting. I've decided to start it tomorrow morning, which gives me time this afternoon to put up, get my clearance signs ready to go, or create my clearance table, and start pulling those items so that I can put them on the clearance table. And then tomorrow morning when the store opens, it'll start. And I'm going to run this one for a week. I'm also telling it I'm setting all the items that we're loading to a 30% off discount. So when I click OK here, and we go next, got all my criteria saved. I'm going to go ahead and click preview. Got the same items. I can print this if you'd like, so you can then walk the shelves and go pull these off, and so you can put them on your clearance sale or your clearance table. If you'd like to do that, you can also obviously just put up signs at each individual item. Okay, so that clearance, now the clearance sale is actually created. So let's go over, we're going to leave the no items no sales report. We're going to go over to our promo manager. Going to bring up that promo. So this is the December 2020 clearance sale. And here are all the items. Those are the same exact items that were on the report. Here's the regular price. Here's the promo price. So it's a 30% discount. And now those items will be on promo tomorrow morning, right on time when the store opens. So, okay, so that's a simple way to create a promo, to create a clearance sale. Now, if you decide that you run this at 30% off for a week, and then you want to make it 50% off after that, you can come in here, set the default discount to 50, click OK. And then on the second page, you can go F12 over here to the second page, and you can click Recalculate Price. And it is now recalculated all the promo prices to 50% off. And so that's a really quick way to make a change to the promo price. Okay, so now let me go to the next thing, which is creating a promo for seasonal merchandise. For seasonal merchandise, there's it really depends on your site as to how you want to do this, but the way that to make it easier on yourself, a little pre-planning long before the promotion, a little pre-planning when you're bringing the merchandise in as to how you want to categorize it, how you want to set the departments, the category, and fine line, really pays great dividends. So in my system, for the demo, I set up a department. Most of you, if you're using the hallmark fine line structure, then most of you probably have this set up this way already. But if we go down here to department 66, it's set to seasonal products. And as hopefully you know, then we go to the next level, which is category. If I go to the category editor and I go down to 66, so I go down to the 6 sixes, so 661, 663, 664, 665, 666. And you'll see that I set up, for the purposes today, I set up a category called 665 winter products. Now you'll see that this part's completely up to you how you do this, but I've set it up so that I have under my seasonal department, I have a number of categories. You can have up to 10. And one of those I've set to winter products. So so now I'm gonna, and for my demo, I've got all my, I'm gonna do a clearance sale on winter products. And when I look, I can go now to the fine line. This is a little review of how the department fine line and that structure all works. I'll go down to the 666 or 665 fine line group. Okay, and here's 665, 6651, 6652, and 6653. So I created these 3 fine lines, so winter gloves and mittens, winter headwear, and umbrellas and rain gear. For those that you buy from variety distributors, these come directly from there, and that's where the data from my database came from for this. But so the idea here now is that you've got your product that you've brought in, you've got it departmentalized, categoried, and fine lined to whatever makes sense for you and your organization. When you're thinking about this from a perspective of a clearance sale down the road, you want to consider that, because maybe you want to be able to break out when it's time at the end of the season. There's merchandise that you want to do immediately at 50% off, and there's merchandise that you would never go below. You'd never go below 20% off. So you want to kind of keep that in mind and categorize as such. So I'm going to show you what that all really means here. So we keep this in mind. So now we can go into Promo Manager, and we can do this well in advance. We can do this on the day that we put all this merchandise out. We can go to the Promo Manager, create or pick our clearance sale. I've created the winter clearance sale, and when I created it, I said I wanted to start tomorrow when the store opens. I wanted to go for a week, and I want to start it at 20% off. So that's how we're going to start. And now we have this blank promo event. So I can go to the second screen by hitting F12, and I can query the database. And so this is kind of where that whole categorization thing came in. So I could say I want to categorize. I want to pick the winter department, and everything everything that is in the winter department, regardless of whether we carry it now or have ever carried it, or whether it's on hand, everything is going to get set to 20% off. And so I could come here and I could go into well, excuse me, I wouldn't want to do department. I'm sorry. I want to do category. Seasonal products would be everything. So let's back out of here. And we're going to go to category. And we'll go down to the 66. We'll go to 665. So there's the winter products category. Okay. So, so now that would get everything in winter products, and they would all be set to 30% off, and that's everything that's in that category. Now, if I don't want to do all of the winter products category at whatever 20% off, I could also take it a step further, and instead of using category, I could go with a fine line, and when I do that, I could come in here and go down to the 665. Okay, so here's our 6651, winter gloves and mittens, winter headwear, and umbrella rain gear. Now, let's say that I just wanted to do these two at 20% off. So I can load those. It brings all those items in. I'd say, yeah, I want to select all of them. Click next. Those are now all set to 20% off. Now I could go back, and let's say that I want to do that rain gear. I want to do it at 30% off. I can go in here, change this to 30, click OK, query the database again. This time we'll pick that other fine line. We'll go down here. So there's the umbrella and rain gear fine line. Click next. Select all of those. Click next. And now it's adding those at 30% off. So I even got a mix and match in here if you want to do this. Really, the power, it's just up to you as to how you want to do it. And then we click finalize. And it'll print off a report if we want to have that report. But you can obviously always just look at it on the screen. Okay, so that's those are two ways to do the promo that are more automated. Now there's a third way to go, and that is to use our handheld device. And I'm just going to show you. So this, we have an Android. You can use an Android tablet or an Android like size of a phone. This is the size of a phone. We actually have one that's commercial grade that has a pistol grip, so it makes it really, and a scanner built into it, so it's really easy to use. Mine doesn't have that, but you could go to promo loading and then choose your promo event. And we'll say that I'm going to do the December clearance. And now you can say whatever the default is. It's now at 50% off, and then click OK. And then you could walk around and scan whatever you want to put it your 50% off clearance sale, and scan all those items, pull them, put them on your clearance table, and then click save, and it'll load into that promo event. Okay, so I am going to, that's it for the demo. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions and see what I can do to help.